Good morning, everyone. My name is Rachel, and today I'm going to be taking you through my newest IBO build. So here I have the PSE Supra Focus. It is going to be a 37-inch axle to axle with a 7-inch brace height. The IBO speeds are going to be anywhere from 318 to 326. I'm going to kind of go over with you everything that I'm going to be shooting, classes in the IBO, and then I'm going to show you my string install with the peep and D-loop, and then I'm also going to go over this awesome arrow build that I just set up this week. I hope you guys enjoy. I'm putting on my R21 strings here from Rogue, and this time around I did go with the 21s versus the 19s because I wanted to try their proprietary blend. I've had really good results with the 19s, so I wanted to give those 21s a shot and see how they compare. Now that I have those R21 strings on from Rogue, I'm going to throw on some soft ties here and level my rest and then throw a D-loop on. So in addition to those strings that I just put on, I threw on a Ripcord blade rest. I have been shooting that one for about a year now. I haven't had any issues with it. I like it so far. And then for my sight, I do have a Sherlock with a Spot Hogg scope on there. I know it's not in the video right now. You'll see it later. And I will probably end up switching that one out in the future. It's just what I had laying around that I wanted to throw a sight on there. And then last but not least, I have my Shrewd stabilizers, again not visible in the video right now, but I have long target bars on there, and I have about 3 ounces up front, I think 8 ounces on the riser, and 6 ounces on the back bar. One other quick note with that stabilizer setup is that I'm running the Shrewd Atlas single V-bar as my back bar mount. It is a quick disconnect. And then I also have an additional front bar quick disconnect. And then the weights that I have on there are just kind of temporary, just somewhere to start. I'll add more as they get stronger most likely. In this clip here, you're going to see me tie in my peep. I did already have a good peep height set before, so I'm just going to be measuring and making sure that it's in the same spot. And then also I'm going to be tying it in with a little bit more of a permanent tie than many bows will have, just so that if people need to change their height, they can. Then I'm also going to tell you a little bit more about the class that I'm going to be shooting in for IBO. I am going to be shooting the female bow hunter open class with a 40-yard maximum distance. 40 yards, not an issue for me for shooting wise. It is going to be a little bit tough on judging though. And one thing to keep in mind with the female classes in IBO is there is a 60-pound maximum for draw weight. And then for arrows, you do need a 5 grain per pound minimum. So at my maximum draw weight of 60 pounds, I need at least a 300 grain arrow. And you'll see that in the next clip where I'm building my arrows up. And then one reason I want those light arrows is to get some more speed. And the speed's going to be important for me in case I make those judging mistakes with unknown yardage in IBO. And I am excited, but I'm a little bit nervous to see how all this judging yardage goes. Now that I have my bow all built and whatnot, I'm going to show you my arrow build that I'm doing with this bow. I'm going to start by just general overview. As you see here, I'm using some rubbing alcohol just to clean off those arrows. And in addition to that, every time I fletch, I like to have something to keep my bits from scratching the table. And that's what this green pad is. It's also so that you guys can see what I'm doing in this video. And then I like to group my veins, how many veins I'm doing per arrow. I like to keep a razor blade nearby in case the glue builds up on the clamp. And then I also keep some Q-tips and of course my goat tuff. So then for my arrows, I went with the Gold Tip Black Label Quantums. They are a micro diameter arrow with an inner diameter of 0.204. Keep in mind that there are definitely other options for fatter arrows that are going to get you a similar weight. I found in my limited experience that the skinnier arrows do fly a little bit better. Again, that is just what I've found. Other things may work better for other people. So then with these Quantums, I'm going with the 400 spine, and that's going to be 7 grains per inch. So at 28 inches, I'm going to be looking at 196 grains for the shaft. And then the vanes that you see here in this video, I went with the Q2i Fusion X2 2.1 inch vanes. I'm looking at 5.3 grains each, which is going to be 15.9 for my 3 fletch. I really like the Q2i. They seem to stick really well, and I really haven't had any issues with them. Next, I went with the Top Hat SLX Convex target points. They are the 60 to 80 grain type 1, and I am using that whole point, but you can break it down to 70 or 60 if you so choose. And then last but not least, I went with normal, just kind of nocks instead of pin nocks. I wanted them a little bit lighter for weight at 11.6 grains. It is a little risky if you're shooting at the same spot, but I'll take the risk here. And then the total build weight is going to be 303.5 grains. This is without any glue or other variances. And then my goal speed is 300. I'd love to get 310, but I'll take what I can get. Now that I have my arrows all fletched up and cut, you might see here I did take the red nocks out because I'm going to go ahead and replace those. So the first thing I'm going to do here to finish up these arrows is smooth out the edges and clean them out with a Q-tip. That's just going to get rid of any excess carbon dust or carbon pieces that may have ended up there after cutting. And then I'm going to go ahead and apply some Kimshaw. It's a type of hot melt to my points. And then once all of those have some on them, I'm going to go ahead and reheat the points and put them in my arrows. Watch out because heat can damage the carbon, so just be careful with that if you're doing it. And then once I get all that into the arrow, I go ahead and dunk that arrow just in a cup of water, just to kind of cool them off a little bit quicker. And then the last thing I'm going to do here to finish off these arrows is throw some black nocks on them. I just kind of wanted to do a blackout effect for looks, but then also to play the you can't see my arrow in the 3D target. So as you saw, I just finished building all of my arrows, and I'm going to show you what they come out to in the actual weight. So based on calculations, they should be around that 303.5. So let's see what this lightest one of the 2 dozen comes out to. And then if I show you the heaviest one, we're looking at about 3 grain difference between the lightest and the heaviest of that 2 dozen. Here I am showing the weight and speed that I'm going to be getting. I'm at a 28.5 inch draw length. These are 70-pound limbs back down to 60. The bow has a little bit more aggressive draw cycle than I prefer, and the backed out 70s are a little bit smoother than the maxed out 60s. I know it was a little hard to see, but that was a peak weight of 59.2 and a holding weight of 11.8 pounds. And then here I'm going to get 307 feet per second, and in the next clip that I show, it's going to be 308. And no tuning necessary, and a bullet hole. I am very, very happy with how this bow build turned out, as well as the arrows. I'm loving the look of this black on black here. I think it's going to be really cool to shoot some 3D with these arrows and with this bow. The last thing I have to do now that the bow's all tuned and put together is get a good sight tape. I'll do that probably later down the road, and I'm not really in a hurry yet. First IBO isn't till I think in February, so I have some time. And then I'll probably shoot some practice indoor 3D with it. And then my favorite point of the video today is going to be asking for your opinion on these string colors. So around the shop, it's been a pretty controversial topic of whether the purple and gold goes with that blue bow. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Also, drop a comment if you have any questions about this build or want to know anything else. Have a good day, guys.
That wasn't me.
That was my stomach.